Hey, what's up? It's Dr. E in the house. Today I'm going to talk to you about mentorship and how to obtain quality mentorship, and also what is it that you need to do as a mentee. Alright, so let's get into it. So first I want to talk about what it was like for me to seek mentorship, and sometimes these things don't just organically fall into place. Perhaps your institution doesn't have a mentorship system set up where you automatically are assigned to somebody, or somebody is assigned to you based on your interests in studying. For me, in the field of psychology, I originally went to a graduate school down in Charleston, South Carolina called the Citadel Graduate School. And down there, we were a combined program in school psychology and clinical counseling. And as I was getting my master's, we didn't quite have a mentorship program set up. We instead had something that was set up where we had an advisorial system. And that's typically what you'll see in American universities. I like to look a little bit more globally at what mentorship actually means. So I'll do a little bit of that about the definition of mentorship. But before I get into that, I want to talk about the story of how I obtained my mentorship. So for me, I had to write a thesis for my master's, and I wrote it on working with a reading program, and I worked outside of my department and looked for somebody who could help me, who had expertise in that area. And I in fact connected with a gentleman named Dr. Dan Oots, who ended up being a phenomenal fit. He sat on my committee. I didn't look outside the psychology department. I probably would not have produced the same to the quality that I wanted it to be. And so, as a bit of a perfectionist, I wanted experts on the panel and on my committee. And so, I know many of you who are watching who are graduate school students or looking to get into graduate school. You really have to continually and regularly look around you to see who's there. Everyday life brings it. Who are the resources, who are the helpers, who's willing to give you time, who's willing to help, assist you, who are the experts in writing, who are the experts in editing, who are the experts in the field, in the area of topic that you choose as your dissertation and thesis. So that's one way to approach your mentorship. Again, this is usually when there's not a mentorship program that is in place. I can say currently I'm in the Chicago School of Professional Psychology, and our National Center for Teaching and Learning has a mentorship system that's set up for professionals and for professors who are more seasoned to support the more junior faculty in things like promotion and what it is that you need to do on a daily basis, and maybe work-life balance. For me, again, when I started at my institution, I looked for mentors who could help me along the way. So I think maybe that's part of my personality, is to always be aware of my surroundings and see who's there to help. As I said before, the world is filled with all kinds of different people. And, if you're an intuitive individual, you may be looking at people who are helpers, and maybe even people who will be adversaries. So it's important to stay away from the adversaries, or at least, don't look for them to be your mentors. Look for them to maybe possibly collaborate. You may be working on the same things. All right, secondly, what are we going to do when we secure a mentor or somebody that we feel could work for us? All right, so students, again, this one's mainly for you, but also for the mentor. It could define a bit of a role for you. So you want to formally ask them for their mentorship. It's almost like an apprenticeship. It happens in every field in the world, from cooking to professorship, and also to becoming a clinical psychologist, and to being all the different types of professionals you want to be. It's very important to see what's out there in front of you. I am a dedicated futurist. This is my strength finder's skill, my number one skill. And in my campus, I feel like I do this often. I foresee and see trends that may work for not only the campus, but the students and the community. So for me, a good fit for a mentee would be somebody who's looking to get into academia, to get into leadership positions, or since my interests are in publishing and presenting internationally, that's something that I would list as a mentor as important for my mentee to have those sort of interests. So again, this is going to backtrack a bit, but that's another thing that an institution, a department, a campus could do is have a database of all the different professionals who are accepting mentees, to have this list of specialized areas that we feel we're experts in, or we at least could speak to at a proficient level to help our mentees. Earlier today, I was accepted into the International Neuroethics Society Experts Bureau. So this is something I'm adding to my repertoire of things I believe I can speak to at a proficient level, and something that I'm excelling at because I'm focusing on it daily is, for me, it's neuroethics. And where is the line that we draw for a lot of different areas? For example, with brain stimulation, my particular area is with neurotechnology and children and adolescent development. Where do we draw those lines? Not only where do we draw those lines, what are the ethical dilemmas behind the advances in technology? Do we have nurses in the schools utilizing handheld fMRIs? Now, this was a thought maybe 10 years ago, and it hasn't quite happened. But again, we need people in the field who have expertise in these areas to guide the future professors or the future scientists, the future researchers into where the field is now and where we're going. So it's very much a sort of touchstone. And I think of my mentorship, and this is important also for the mentor to have an orientation with the mentee as to their style and what it is that they can offer. I can tell you in this video, just briefly, and I'm going to keep it a little short, but my mission statement as a mentor is to not only guide the future academic or scientists or both into the field of neuroethics and neuroscience, neuropsychology, and brain-based behavior. It really is important for me to see an individual who is my mentee, who wants to write in this field, also who has passion in speaking about it. So it's very important for somebody to have some desire to disseminate all the brain-based knowledge out there to the general public and also other professionals. This is a skill that not everybody has. This was a video, and hopefully I will return with a little bit more information on what that mentorship process looks like throughout a career. All right, have a wonderful weekend. I'd like to see you again here on this channel. It's Dr. E in the house.